Hello Spurs fans, this is LJ for Spurs Chat. Hope you're all well, hope you had a lovely Christmas. Except for the Spurs result yesterday. I wasn't actually going to do a video yesterday, to be fair. Because my head's busted, to be honest, it is really busted. I can't make my mind up, Angie and Ange out, blah blah blah. So I busted my head up even more by watching loads of YouTube channels, YouTube Spurs channels. And a lot of the so-called popular ones definitely want Ange out and they're screaming from the rooftops, etc. But then you get a few that you think, well, they're being quite sensible. So my mind's twisted in that way and that way. My first reaction was, I am leaning towards Ange out, as I said before, but then I think, does he need a chance when he gets all his players back? And just as I was thinking that, I come across a video and it had two stats out of about 5 or 6 that they put up. And these two here has made me worry. Spurs lost 9 out of 23 league games where Romero and Van der Ven both started in 2024. That's concerning. And the last 26 league games, won 9, drawn 3, lost 14. That's 30 points from a possible 78. So, looking on that, I don't know. Because as I said during the previous video, I'm getting a bit of deja vu. Last season when we went through, after the Chelsea game, we went through a bit of a run of injuries and suspensions, etc. And everyone was saying, including myself, look, once we get the players back, we'll be back to the first 10 games, Ange ball. And they came back, no improvement. So what we found out? So if we give Ange 3 players in this window, then the players come back, will it actually improve? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But if you sack him, what are we going to do then? You're still going to have the injuries and suspensions and things like that. I really don't know, Spurs fans. Let me know what you think. I personally think Ange ball's brilliant to watch when it comes off, but it only comes off against the so-called good teams. But when we're playing like the lesser teams, which we've proved this season, we lose. It's just I just don't know. Levy's in a right predicament here, but it is half his fault for not giving him the money. We're the 8th richest club apparently in the world, so I think this window and the summer, he's got to, he's got to spend big. And I don't mean before all you fans start saying, yeah, but he's spent 300 or 350 million quid. He has been back. No, he ain't been back because he's not spending. He's not going out there and like buying a Declan Rice for 100 million like the Filth did down the road. He's still getting like 60 million like the tops. You've got to go out and get 2 or 3 experienced players in this window, proven Premiership players to help Ange. He does need help, whether he's got faults or not. He needs help. So if it was me, I think I'd say, you know what, sod it. Give him to the end of the season. Obviously, if it looks like we're going to be drawn into a relegation battle, he'll have to get a stat then. But I just think, sod it. Let's give him a proper go. Give him another season, to the end of this season. Get your players back him in January, Levy, and we'll see where we go. There's either going to be a sudden upturn in results and performances, or they're just going to keep getting caught out. Because as I said before, again, Ange I don't think will work in the Premier League for me. Yet again, another injury, hamstring injury. I mean, someone like Levy or someone has got to look at this. Hamstring injuries everywhere. It's mental. And he did go through this at Celtic. Admittedly, I don't know it so much in the second season, but he admitted it himself, I think, because someone put an article up yesterday about these hamstring injuries. It's absolutely mental. So yeah, I wasn't actually going to do a video today, so I'll keep this short and sweet. They've got a week to recover now, and that's going to be really interesting to see how we perform against Newcastle. I'm not expecting nothing against Newcastle. I'm expecting a defeat. Will the week's rest do them any good? I don't know. The players look flat. They look no confidence. Knackered. We could have done with winning that yesterday. Even though I thought before the game we'd lose, I didn't think it'd be an easy game. I thought that we controlled most of the game, but we just couldn't get that third goal, which would have put Wolves to bed. Because despite their couple of 3 games upturn since the new manager, they're not a great side. And we got to be beating teams at home, regardless of the injuries. Because yesterday, it was Romero, Van der Ven and Vic that were out. That's the only three. So it don't bode well, does it, for Ange? If talks are going on behind the scenes with a possible replacement for Ange, I hope that he brings him in and backs him. Levy, you've got to start backing the managers now properly. Otherwise, if Ange is still there, you've got to back him and give him to the end of the season and see what happens. Give him a fair crack at it, do you know what I mean? But I wouldn't like to be in Daniel Levy's position. Rumours are some of the board already want Ange out. So, but you have to, whether you agree with Ange board or not, he has had mental injuries. It's mental, isn't it? But it doesn't do himself any favours when he doesn't tweak and change. So I think Levy should bring him in and say, why aren't you tweaking and changing? You know, you play with the cards you dealt with, whatever your hand is at the time. And he'll probably turn around and go, I ain't changing. Well, if he says I'm not changing, he's got to go. Say, sorry, mate, but we don't start. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I do want him to succeed, though. I do feel sorry for him because he does believe 100% in his own ways, and he's sticking to it, which is admirable, to be fair, but it's causing toxicity amongst fans. They're arguing with each other, and it's crazy. Where were the old days where you can have an opinion and just discuss it like adults instead of starting, you know, if you don't fit the narrative now on YouTube, you're slated, aren't you? What are you talking about? You know, blah, blah, blah. It shouldn't be like that. I was watching them yesterday thinking to some of them, you're talking shit, mate. But I wouldn't say that to him. I wouldn't get on the old keyboard and say, yo, you're talking shit. No, it's his opinion. Everyone's opinions matters. Freedom of speech. But there's not freedom of speech unless it fits the narrative. I said that before as well. But if everyone had the same opinion, the world would be a boring place, wouldn't it? So you've got to respect other people's opinions, whether you agree with them or not. It's hard to agree or disagree with my opinions because I keep changing. But, you know, give the man a fair crack at it if you back him. But we need proven, at least two in this window. I know it's difficult in this window, but two proven Premiership players to come in and help them, experienced players. Two proven Premiership players is what we need. I'm hearing things about Rashford and Grealish, nah. Rashford, surprisingly enough for me, I would. I think he needs a change of scene, and I think he'd fit well into the system. Wages could be a bit of a stumbling block, but we're 8th richest club in the world. It's about time we stepped up another level and started paying all this, you know, wages and things. You can't pretend to be a big club, have the infrastructure of a big club, and then slash your wage bill, which is what we've done. If Levy and the board don't put in on the footballing side, they've got to go. I know a few Spurs fans will say, you know, it has been backed 300 or 350 million, blah, 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 but it's not the net what they've spent, or it's not the amount what they've spent, it's how they've spent it. 30 million on him and 20 million on him. I know you've got Solanke and you could say it with Charlison, but do you know what I mean? I think it was 250 to 300 million pound we can spend without it affecting the FIFA fair play. Well, just now's the time to do it then. Go out, you know, put a marker down. We are Tottenham. We are now going to be with the big boys. We can be with the big boys, no question about it. You've got revenue streams coming in which other clubs haven't got. So stop building hotels, concentrate on the football side of things, get us challenging, and then concentrate on your hotels or whatever else you're doing. That's my opinion anyway. But this window is massive, absolutely massive. So yeah, that's about it. A little bit of a rant today. But Spurs fans, you've got to calm down. We all want the same thing, don't we? We all want to see Spurs be successful, and it hurts and it pisses us off when it ain't going our way. But let's not argue about it. God's sake, you know what I mean? I am finding, I think I said it last time, I'm finding it's the older generation like me, got a bit more of a sensible head on, and it's the youngsters of the day that want everything now. But that's just to do with the way that life is now, I suppose. And a rebuild of any kind is always going to be painful. That's why I say just give Ange to the end of the season. If you back him, let his players come back. Because at the minute he can turn around and go, look mate, got injuries. That is his reason / excuse. If you let him have another couple of months with a couple of proven Premiership players signed in the window, players coming back from injuries and suspension, give him a couple of months like that, there is no more excuse if he fails, is there? Is he out of his depth? Yeah, I think he is. I think he's out of his depth. I think it has been a shock, the Premier League, how much better it is than the other leagues he's been in, because you're now dealing with the Premiership. The Premier League is elite. Let's be straight. It's elite. Forget the Spanish leagues, the Italian leagues, the German leagues. You get a couple of free teams in there if you're lucky that are decent. But this Premier League, especially now, where it seems to be evening itself out with this FIFA fair play, and that's why you're seeing teams like Forest, Bournemouth, Fulham, and doing all right at the top, because it's starting to even itself out now. If you're in a bit of shit, you can't go out and spend 500 million quid, which is a good thing. But it does frustrate me, as I say, because with this FIFA fair play, we can go out and spend 200-300 million. Just do it. It's sitting there. It's there to do it. So just do it. What? Imagine if they went out and bought 2 worldies. You know, proven Premiership players, but like world class. That is a statement. It's a statement, and you need players like that to help the younger ones come along. I don't know. Someone's got to ask Levy this. What? You've got the money there. Why aren't you going to spend it? Sometimes in life, if you've got the dough, gamble. Because it is a gamble, no matter who you sign. Gamble. You're never going to get anywhere when you're pussyfooting about doing deals like, oh, say 5 million here, 5 million there. You know, it happened with Grealish, didn't it? We could have had Grealish a few years ago for 6 million quid. It was all done, signed, sealed a lot. Levy went back in and offered 4. They told him to piss off. You're haggling over 2 million. That's the problem. It's not just Ange the problem, it's the whole problem from the top to the bottom. And unless that changes, I'm sorry, we're just going to go round and round in circles. This is why I'm saying just give Ange a proper chance. And if the results don't change by middle of Feb, then he got to go. And you're unfortunately going to have to start again. But the advantage, I think, of getting rid of Ange and a new man coming in, you've got a good team there. Not a great squad, but when everyone's fit, in my opinion, you've got a good squad there, a good team there. You have. Look at the players you got. When everyone's fit, it's a team that should be up there challenging for top 4 minimum. So, any manager looking at that, I think could make a really good fist of it. Could you imagine Harry Redknapp even now taking over that team when they're all back in it, you know, all fit and ready to go? He'd have his challenging right at the top. Pochettino probably would. It's the style and the Ange ball and the board, which is the problem. So let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. I do think we're going to lose to Newcastle. I do think we'll lose to Liverpool. I do think we'll go out of that semi-final. Then the pressure really is on him, I suppose. But I can't stress enough, in my opinion, this window, it's notorious for being difficult. But it's a massive window, and any half-decent run club should have done their homework for the last 2-3 months and identified the players that they want to go in for, go in early, stop haggling about the 5 million or 2 million, pay the dough, let's go, help him, get him in early, gives the players a lift, and all. If you can get a couple of like proven players in, it gives the whole squad a lift. That's why years ago when Levy wouldn't buy, was it 2 transfer windows we didn't sign anyone? You've got to sign at least 1, because these players are looking around at other clubs signing players, and they must have been thinking, what is going on here? It's crazy. Football and all sport is in there. You're feeling a bit down. Imagine it, like I said, Rashford. I know people can say, oh, Rashford's crap, why do you want Rashford in? It's just an example, guys and gals. Rashford walks in to the training ground next week. Everyone's given a lift. Rashford or Werner. I know which one I'd rather have. Plus he's English. Do you know what I mean? The players get a lift. Immediately, let's go down at your attack players. That's just as an example. It's a lot of football and sport is confidence. It's like you must remember when you're at school, even if you wasn't a striker, you scored a goal. You want that ball. You want that ball for the rest of the game. You think you can score all the time. It's a weird feeling. And that is how, it doesn't matter how old or experienced you are, it's in the mind. When you're struggling, you might take the extra touch, you'll play the safer pass. That's why they're not playing Ange ball, because Ange don't like it going back, but they're playing back a lot now, back and sideways, which Ange does not like. Play it forward. That's all he ever says. At Celtic as well. We've all seen the videos and clips of it. So if they're not doing that, I think it's a combination of lack of confidence and a true belief in the system. Maybe. But I really hope as well that when we get our players back, that he gives Archie Gray a go in central midfield with next to a ball winner, like a Sarr, like a Basuma, whatever, because he's earned the right, isn't he? He's been put at right back, left back, centre half. Done all right, to be fair. Brilliant. 18 years old. This kid is a great player already. Give him a chance in centre midfield. You know, have a couple of players there with him, even if it's Sarr and Basuma, just to win the ball, just to protect him so he's got that experience around him. Give him a go. I'd hate to see him just get dropped straight back to the bench after what he's been doing. He hasn't moaned, he hasn't grumbled. He's got a very calm head on his shoulders, very skillful. Give him a go, give him a run of games, 5-6 games in central midfield. See how we get on. Anyway, I've gone on a bit longer than what I thought. I hope you all have a great new year. Don't get too pissed, because you'll only regret it the next day. And so will your wallet. And we move on. We've got a week now to relax. Let's see if we can get any players in before Newcastle, eh? Anyway, all the best. Please like and subscribe. Go on, you Spurs.